But what happens when you agree to donate? Which organs can you donate? With some surprising insights into the process, Dr. Ranj is here, and welcome to you. So it's National Transplant Week this week.
Yeah.
Incredibly important week, because one donor can save up to 9 people.
Exactly, and people don't necessarily realise that. We don't think about it unless we have to, unless a friend or a member of family or ourselves have been affected. The important thing to remember is donation is a process of taking either an organ or part of an organ or tissue to help somebody else or to save someone else's life. Demand always outstrips supply. As of June 2014, there are 6,971 people on the waiting list. 150 of those were children under the age of 18. And 3 people every day will die waiting for an organ. So that's why this campaign has sort of come in to try and encourage people to think about donating and talking to their friends and family.
We have an opt-in system. Some countries, I think Austria and Belgium, and there are some others, have an opt-out system.
We do. And Wales, from December 2015, will have an opt-out system as well.
And for me, it's only a sort of personal point of view, but an opt-out system seems much more sensible, because a lot of people that I've spoken to on here, and you know, sort of when you meet them, haven't done it because it's just something they don't want to think about. They don't want to tempt Providence. I don't want to. It's morbid. But if automatically you had to opt out, then more people would be involved.
That's it. We generally don't tend to think about it unless we have to. People are scared. It's a squeamish subject. They feel a little bit morbid about it. But the idea behind opt-out systems is that if you presume consent, then you're going to hopefully increase the pool of potential donors. Remember, not everyone can be a donor.
So what happens when you donate? Well, what actually happens?
OK, so lots of myths and misconceptions around that. Now, firstly, you have to express a wish to be a donor. So please tell your friends, please tell your close loved ones, please tell your family, because they will need to be involved in the discussions at that time should that need arise. Secondly, register with a donor register, first of all. And then what happens at the time of death, it has to be in a donatable circumstance. You can't donate your organs if you're on the register if it's not the right circumstances to do so. It's a kind of, I know it sounds a bit morbid, but it depends on the way your death happens. And so not everyone is eligible, even if they're on the register.
Right.
And then there's a specialist team that comes in every hospital, OK? So it's not done by the teams that are looking after you. There are specialist organ donation teams that come in and conduct the whole process. It's a highly specialised process, and it's one that is regulated and, you know, governed by so many laws. It's very tightly regulated.
Well, there are people that get very concerned about it because they say, well, if I'm an organ donor, then therefore the team won't look after me as much, knowing that they've got harvestable organs if I'm gone.
Yeah, that's completely not the case. Every doctor and medical professional is obligated to look after you regardless or irrespective of your donor status, and often you don't know what a person's donor status is. There's a lot of fear and misunderstanding around donation, as we talked about a little bit earlier. A lot of people don't know how it happens or don't know how to register. And there's, you know, you can do it online, you can do it by telephone, you can do it by paper, do it when you're applying for a driving licence. A lot of people don't think about it. Some people think that they are too old to donate, and actually the rules are that anyone can donate unless you're trying to donate cornea, in which case you have to be under the age of 80, or heart valves and tendons, in which case you have to be under the age of 60.
So while we're talking about what you can donate, what are the other organs?
What, the organs that we can?
Yeah.
Right, so I've got a model over here to show you, actually. So first and foremost, let's go for the biggest ones at the front, lungs. So you can donate your lungs. That can help someone with a condition like cystic fibrosis, for instance.
Even if you're a smoker?
It depends on the condition of your lungs. And the decision for donation, whether your organs are good enough, are made at that time by a medical professional. So you don't necessarily need to worry about that. You can donate your heart, which can go to help either an adult or even a child that needs a heart transplant, that's got heart problems. You can donate your liver. Again, this is something you cannot live without. And one liver can be used to help more than one person.
Really?
So you can use part of it to help a child and the other part of it to help an adult, or both parts can be used to help 2 different children. We'll move this one out the way. You've got here is the pancreas, which is one of the organs that sits behind the stomach. That can be donated. Here we've got the small intestine. That can be used for people who've got intestinal failure and problems with artificial nutrition. And then finally, behind all of that, we have the kidneys. And again, one person can, if they donate both their kidneys, could help 2 different people.
What can't you donate?
What can't you do? Well, everything else, to be honest. So the thing that we haven't talked about is donating tissue. So you can donate cornea, which is the clear part of the front of your eye. That could give someone the gift of sight. You can donate bone. You can donate, obviously, blood we know about, and bone marrow. You can donate skin to help burns victims for skin grafts.
Gosh, it's incredible, isn't it?
Things that we generally can't donate, things like obviously brain, whole eyes we can't donate, fertility organs we can't donate. Large bowel, there's no point donating that because you can live without it, and actually you're better off not having a transplant, because having a transplant means you need to go on lifelong medication, so it has its risks as well.
There are also concerns about the process of removal.
Yes.
People say, well, you can't have it because I'm not dead.
Yeah. Well, that's why there are specific circumstances as to how death is confirmed, first of all, and a specialist team comes in to do all of this, and they're the ones that will decide how the organs are collected and what happens to the organs after that. That's really tightly regulated now. There have been scandals in the past with regards to organ retention. That is not the same thing as organ donation. It's completely different. It's a life-saving procedure. It's a life-saving practice, and we should all think about it.